This is Change Your Mindset Podcast, the podcast that helps change your life by helping change the mindset of the 99% into the 1% mindset. Here's your host, Adrian Gomez.
Welcome back to Change Your Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Gomez. So we're going to talk about how at the beginning of the month, the new mortgage fees went into effect. I'm going to read you a small article by Yahoo Finance that came out on May 2nd, basically, on what the new mortgage fees is about. So the article goes, Americans who have worked hard to build up their credit scores might be alarmed over warnings that a new federal rule could reward those with lower credit at the expense of those with higher credit. However, a recent letter from FHFA Director Sandra Thompson casts doubt on these allegations, complicating matters. Under the rule, homebuyers with a credit score of 680 or higher will reportedly have to pay about $40 per month more than people with worse credit when taking out a home loan of $400,000, according to News Nation, which cited a report from the Washington Times. The rule goes into effect on May 1st, 2023, just ahead of the peak spring buying season. It could impact mortgages from private banks across the nation based on loan level price adjustments established by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. High credit consumers with a score ranging from 680 to above 780 will see a spike in mortgage costs, the New York Post reported, with the biggest increases being felt by those who put 15 to 20% down on a home. According to media reports, the new LLPAs essentially amount to fees imposed on borrowers with high credit scores as a way of subsidizing those with low credit scores. The goal is to support federal initiatives to increase affordable housing across the country. The Federal Housing Finance Agency, which oversees Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, has sought to give consumers more affordable housing options, Fox News reported. The fear among some housing experts is that the new rules will make an already challenging market even more challenging for home buyers. So basically, if you have good credit, you are now being punished. So in simpler terms, the new changes so that the higher one's credit score is along with a larger down payment, the more they have to pay monthly. So tell me, how does that make sense? That if you have a good credit score, now you are paying higher fees. But if you have a worse credit score, now you're paying less fees. That's ludicrous. Since the beginning we were probably born, we've all been told, have good credit. Good credit takes you a long way. You get a lot of benefits. You get a lot of perks of having good credit. Now everything is being turned upside down. Now they want you to have bad credit for you get less fees. And if you have good credit, you have to pay more. Since when has that ever been a thing? Ever. In any country. Because that makes no sense whatsoever. My father would always tell me, if you don't know somebody and you look at their credit score, you know what type of person they are. If you never met them and you see their credit score, if they have a high credit score, you know that person is responsible, reliable, trustworthy. And you know for a fact they will make their payments on time. Just by having good credit score, you can judge a person just like that. If a person has bad credit, they're the complete opposite. You know they're not reliable, they're not trustworthy, and you know they're not going to be paying all their payments on time. That's what you can tell based off someone's credit score. And that's always been a fact, no matter what. You are who you are based off your credit score. But now they're passing laws saying that they don't want you to be a responsible citizen. They don't want you paying your bills on time. They want you to be reliable because now your perks aren't there anymore for being a good citizen, doing what you're supposed to, and getting your payments done. And now for that, because you're a good citizen and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to get penalized. How does that make any sense? But if you're a bad citizen, you don't pay on time, don't make your payments all the time, we're going to reward you. How does that make any sense? I'm saying this is ludicrous. This just blows my mind for stuff like this. I've always been told, and everyone's always been told, have good credit. Pay your bills on time. It's not easy. And just because you have good credit doesn't mean you have a lot of money. I know a lot of people who are middle class that have great credit, excellent credit, and they're not filthy rich. Just because you have good credit doesn't mean you make so much money, you're a millionaire, billionaire. That's not what it means. It just shows that you're responsible. But obviously, they're going to be telling you, oh, only the rich have good and excellent credit, which is complete nonsense. Makes no sense. But they'll probably tell you that. That you have credit score like that, we're going to tax them and penalize them because they have a lot of money, which isn't true. Like I said, a lot of people have good and excellent credit, and they're average citizens, middle class. Some living paycheck to paycheck. They're just responsible. That's all it means. That's all your credit score means. But nowadays, apparently, that doesn't even matter anymore. And we're just talking about home mortgage fees. What's going to be next? Car fees? This is insane. Stuff like this, I don't even know anymore. It's crazy, and it baffles me so much how everything's gone upside down. I always talk about being the best version of yourself on my podcast, and obviously, this is the complete opposite. If you don't have good credit score, obviously that's not being the best version of yourself, but they clearly don't want you to be the best version of yourself. They want you to be apparently below average citizen. In the entire history of the world, for thousands of years, I've never heard or read of a country proposing this idea. And amazingly, no one ever implemented it because it makes no sense. But here we are. It seems such a wonderful way to remove any incentive to work hard and smarter. Because there are millions of people not wanting to work when the government pays them for not working. One problem, of course, is that a recession, when loan defaults soar, lenders may not want to lend to people who are not creditworthy, obviously, especially at low interest rates. But there is a solution. They'll probably force lenders to make such loans, which have high default rates, and give the lenders a guarantee, basically reimbursement, in case of a default. And I'm pretty sure Americans will be told by the propaganda media, obviously, that it won't cost the taxpayers a dime. And it is only fair. They're basically inciting you to be poor with bad credit score because they want to obviously not be financially educated. They're saying they want to help lower income people, people with bad credit, all that stuff. They want you to rely on the government. Now, I also teach, obviously, financial education because I don't want you relying on the government. You should never rely on the government. Take your own finances into your own hands. Don't wait for Social Security, 401k. Handle your own finances yourself. Because this is a capitalist country. And you can be successful. But like I said, the school systems fail you. They don't teach you about money or finances. But they want you to be financially poor. They want you to rely on the government because you know what that's called? That's called socialism. Well, everyone's the same and everyone has to rely on the government because that controls you more. Everyone will be the same. You make all the same money. The government takes care of you. They give you handouts. Everything's the same and you have to rely on them. And the scary thing about that is if they don't like what you're doing, say they don't like what you buy or who you support, your politics, your religion, whatever it is, since you're getting funds from the government, they can cut you off. And then what? You're screwed. This is what they want. That's why they're passing laws like these supporting bad credit, bad incentives. They're supporting this because they want you to do this. That's what I'm saying. This country is pretty much being turned upside down within the last couple of years. It's insane. But obviously, you need to be financially educated and control your own finances. That's why I do these podcasts, to be the best version of yourself, like what I say, physically, mentally, financially. For you to not rely on the government. Ever. That was one of the biggest mistakes you'll make. Because like I talk in the retirement crisis, people rely on the government for Social Security and 401ks, and look at them now, they still can't retire because they don't have enough money saved, and because of inflation, and the dollar just becomes less and less. You need to financially educate yourself. The problem is, obviously, they're saying they want everyone to have a fair opportunity being a homeowner, have you buying a house, etc. That's why they're doing these incentives for bad credit, which is absurd. That is not the problem. So, Since from 1970, from 2022, home price growth has gone up 102%. That's from 1970 to 2022. The real problem is the income growth. So since 1970 to 2022, the income growth has gone up by 26%. So that's the problem, your income. Home prices are skyrocketing. They went up 102%. Your average income growth has gone up 26%. That is the problem. Everything else goes up, but what doesn't go up is your income. And that's what you need to figure out. And that leads me to another factor of them wanting to increase minimum wage, increasing people's wages in certain states, etc. The problem with this, it sounds good in theory. You obviously need to make more money because everything's going up. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Running a business, you need to be profitable. So, if laws get passed, if you need to start paying your workers more money, that cuts into your profit. So how do you combat that? If everything else is the same, if you're purchasing things, you're selling things, everything is the same, but you need to start paying your employees more money, and now you're losing money because you have to pay your employees more money, what do you have to do next? I'm pretty sure you know what they have to do. You have to increase prices to combat salaries of employees. And you've always seen that. And that's how it works. People do not understand that. If your salary goes up, minimum wage goes up, all the prices have to go up. That's how they combat it. It's basically going to be the same thing, or you're paying even more. People need to understand that. So if you think prices are high now, just wait till they increase minimum wage or they increase wages in certain states. Everything's going to go up way more. Whether it's food, merchandise, whatever it is, it's going to go up. Because that's how a business combats it. That's the only way they can. Unless they're able to cut their cost of goods, but that's not likely. But I understand a lot of people are employees and not business owners and don't understand how businesses work. But that's why I say you just have to be financially educated and know about money, how to use money to make you more money. That's why some of these podcasts are for. And I'm going to keep doing these podcasts to help you as much as I can and create the best value as I can. But I just want everyone to know everything's upside down right now. Apparently common sense isn't common anymore. Just like I said before, so many things right now doesn't even make sense anymore. But this is how it is. But like I said, don't listen to the agenda. Don't listen to whatever propaganda they give you. It's keeping the best version of yourself. Because like I said, more now than ever, they definitely don't want you to be the best version of yourself. They're sabotaging a lot of people. Don't be one of them. Don't let them get to you. Always be the best version of yourself. So I appreciate everyone listening to this podcast. Hopefully this one was a beneficial one for you. And you see how crazy things are getting. And I appreciate Patreon member Blade262. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I appreciate you as always. If you want to be a Patreon member, help support this podcast before I can grow it. The Patreon link is below in the description. Thank you guys again. If you share this podcast, it does help grow more than I can do by myself. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you again. Change your mindset to change your life. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Change Your Mindset podcast. Be sure to tune in every week for a new episode. As always, change your mindset to change your life.